Hey, you guys, thanks for listening into this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Mr. Joe with us. Hey, Mr. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you so much for being a guest on the show today. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
My name is Joe Apfelbaum. I'm the CEO of Ajax Union. We're a B2B digital marketing agency based in Brooklyn. I also have a business called Evergreen where we train people how to use LinkedIn. There's 830 million people on LinkedIn. The average person has 930 LinkedIn connections, but most people have no idea how to use it. So for the past 10 years, I've been teaching people how to leverage LinkedIn, how to use it to get more business.
Awesome. Awesome. So why is networking important?
The reason why networking is important is because people need to do business with other people. And in order to do business with other people, you have to get to know people. You have to get them to know you, like you, and trust you. And often people don't have a really great network. So using a tool like networking will help you expand your network, find people that can get to know you, like you, and trust you, and not just do business with you, but also refer business to you. The best customers come from referrals.
Awesome. So how can we properly network? I know we were talking before about, how to properly network if we're wanting to get invited to events or, public speaking engagement. So how can we properly network to do those things?
To be able to properly network means to learn how not just to introduce yourself to people, but also to follow up with people. A lot of people show up and throw up. Instead, I say show up and follow up, build real relationships with people, get to know them, and then touch base with them, make introductions for them, add value. I believe that the secret to living is giving. And the more that you can be a giver, the more you can add value to somebody by learning about them, figuring out what they need, the more you're going to be able to successfully network and build relationships. A lot of people confuse networking with prospecting. And there's a very big difference between selling and building relationships. When you're building relationships, you're really just there to serve, to add value. That doesn't mean that if you find a client that wants to become a client, that you're not going to turn them into a client. Of course, you can close deals, but the key is not to be selling, because selling is smelling.
Awesome. So you also wrote a networking book. So why did you write that book?
The reason I wrote High Energy Networking is because a lot of people are confused by networking. They're not sure what to do. Some of my clients call it the Bible of networking because it includes the 10 commandments of networking. So I use my experience on how I successfully network to build a multi-million-dollar business. And I used all my experiences and I put them into that book called High Energy Networking. And it's available now on Amazon.
Awesome. And then give us a few tips about how we can properly network on LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is a huge platform for business owners, entrepreneurs, or just people, professionals in general. It's a good platform to network. So how can we as people properly network on LinkedIn?
To properly network on LinkedIn, the first step is you have to have a strategy. I believe that the right strategy will save you a decade. So having the right strategy is key. Once you have the right strategy, which includes knowing what your plan is, knowing who the people that you're targeting, and understanding what your message is to those people is really key. The second step is making sure you have the right assets. People are telling stories. Those are the people that are getting business. So learning how to tell stories on LinkedIn, learning how to optimize your profile, making sure you have the right technologies and automation tools. And then finally, you want exposure, you want credibility, and you want to book meetings off LinkedIn. You want to use LinkedIn as a tool, but with the right strategy, the right assets, and the right actions to get exposure, credibility, and book meetings. That's how you're going to get results from LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Joe, that's all the questions I have for you today. So thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I'm going to share the social media handles, but tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you and also tell them too how they can purchase your book again.
So if you want to purchase my book, you can go to highenergynetworking.com. That'll take you to the Amazon page. And if you want to connect with me, you could just go to joelinkedin.com, J-O-E LinkedIn.com, and you could find me on LinkedIn, and you could find, if you search my name on any major social media platform, you can easily find me. Thank you so much for having me on the program. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. And if you guys want to get in contact with me, feel free by doing so. My number is 910-317-0396. You can shoot me an email at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule an appointment on my website at www.mjfinancial.biz. You can find this episode on Anchor, you guys, and you can also find the playback for this video on the YouTube channel for M&J Financial Management as well. So thank you once again, Mr. Joe. I highly appreciate you.
Thank you.
And all right, you guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.
Boom.